Ladies and gentlemen, queers, steers, and all the in-betweens, welcome back to the TrapHouse podcast, episode number 8. Folks, we made it. We fucking made it. Just saying, welcome back is a win. Now I'm saying welcome back to episode number 8? Come on now, folks. This isn't a game. Kinda is, actually. I'm sorry to say it's not a game. It's definitely a game because people call it the rat race. They call it, this is the game of life. And then as humans, we thought it was funny. We came up with a game called life. And people are more entertained by playing that board game than they are playing the actual game that we're allowed to live once, as far as we know. Anybody out there who says that they know what happens when you die is a liar. Here's how you know. Hey sir, you said this happens when you die, right? Yep, that's what happens when you die. This is this and this and this is what happens. Okay sir, you say this happens when you die. Have you died? Folks, as far as we know, unless you've died, you got one shot. Let's not waste it. And today on the TrapHouse podcast, episode number 8, we're going to be discussing quite a few different things today. But I want to start off, as we do every podcast, by just saying, you know what? Thank you for showing up. I appreciate you as a human. Those of you who listen, those of you who throw me by the wayside, it don't matter. I appreciate you all as humans because you all have a choice to make in life. You get many choices. And if you choose to listen to this podcast, thanks. If you choose not to, well, I hope you're doing something productive. And I hope that you're doing something positive. Because if you're out there doing negative shit, you're going to get negative shit back. I mean, we've been around for millions of years. You get what you put into it. And by it, I mean life. And by what you put into it, I mean, what did you do good today? And by good, I mean, what made you feel good? What made a positive impact on how you live your life, not only today, but maybe tomorrow? And maybe the next day, and then the years going forward. I'm not going to focus too much on it, but I just want to know. I just want you all to know, I hope everybody's making wise choices like my mom always said. And for some reason, it's like nails on a chalkboard, but like fluffy nails on a cloud. You know? That one phrase your mom always used to say that drive you nuts. That you heard it over and over and over again. And it wasn't until you were an adult that you were like, son of a bitch. And it rings in your head whenever a situation arises where you would make a wise choice. Or where you would stray. And what comes ringing in? Mom. Dad. A distant cut. Somebody important in your life who was there and stuck around. There was always that one person who had that saying that as a child you would listen to it over and over and over again. You'd say, yeah, yeah, yeah. But as an adult, you say that phrase to yourself constantly to keep yourself in check now, don't you? Now, I'm obviously talking to those who had role models, close role models in their life. I'm not saying that not everybody didn't have a role model, but if you did, I'm sure that role model either said something directly to you or in a radio interview or on television. This day and age, they may have tweeted it. But whoever your role model is, whoever you take advice and whoever you gain character from, I'm sure they had a saying. And it's funny that as an adult, you look back or you come into a situation where that phrase means more as an adult because you heard it so much as a child. Now, that being said, I know that there's a lot being said nowadays to children. Leave me alone. Go play on your tablet. I'm busy. Go play the video games. Hey, listen, don't you see this is my third husband? I'm trying to get things to work for you guys. Go play out. Go play. Go do something else. God damn. Imagine hearing those phrases over and over and over and over again. Now, as an adult, some would definitely dispute that, but as an adult, by age, I'd like to say that there's one phrase that has rung true to me, and it is make wise choices. My mom's been saying that to me since she met God. Or whatever. But even still, not only have I not seen a verse in the Bible that says this, but I take it as my own personal scripture because, Jesus Christ, the person that gave birth to you, deserves some sort of recognition. Now, I'm not saying all parents are great. I'm not saying all parents are top notch. I'm not saying you're supposed to respect all parents. That's not the story at all. The fact is, there was a phrase my ma used to say all the time, and it was, hey, Chris, make wise choices. Was it because I always put myself in tumultuous situations? Was it because I always was mischievous? Was it because my hands were always idle? Either way, I always wanted to be busy as a kid, so I always made sure to get out and make sure I was always doing something. Now, I didn't make the wisest of choices as an adolescent, as a child. I don't think any of them do. And those that do end up running the country. And guess what? They get bought off because they're skittish. And they run the country into the ground. Thanks, Shy Guys. But anyway, I digress again. If you're making decisions in your life as an adult, and at any time you hear make wise choices, or I'd watch out, or those guys don't seem right, or that's not the crowd my boy should be hanging out with or my daughter should be around. Let me tell you guys a secret real quick. Whenever you hear that voice, that's because you shouldn't be doing what you're doing. Right? It's weird how things work. It's weird how your mind works. It's weird how memory works. People say they forget things, but do you really? I believe you just got to be reminded. I've talked about it before, but the idea of making decisions, this isn't what I talked about before, but let's just get back on topic here. The idea that you live a life and then blame it on somebody else is not right. It's not right to say I made this choice in this time based on this or that. You're where you are today because you choose to be there. Race, background, upbringing, non-upbringing does not control who you choose to be. You get to make that choice. Who are you going to be today? I know how I'm going to be. I know who I'm going to be. I'm going to be me. I'm not going to be the me that somebody says I need to be, or the me that somebody thinks I need to conform to be. I'm going to be me. And if you don't like it, well, you can go be you somewhere else now, can't you? Let's get into some topics today. How about we do that? I know it's a weird little opening, but guess what? Sometimes I calm myself down and I get into a place where I'm alright with everything. We're going to hear it like that today then. So here's something to think about. We talked about it the last episode. We asked you to think about hoarders conventions, where would they put everything? Seriously, if hoarders had a convention, where the fuck would they put everything? We're going to get into that right now on the Trap House podcast. I'm looking forward to it, and I hope you are too. Seriously though, let's talk about this. Where would they put everything? Now, if you thought about this like I have and taken a little bit of time out of your day to do so, you'd really break it down and be like, man, I don't think there's a convention center big enough to hoard all the hoarders' commodities. So I did a little bit of research. Yeah, not just winging it this time, did a little bit of research. And I found out that hoarding is considered a mental disorder in which people save a large number of items, whether they have worth or not. Now, after reading that, man, I really had to do some digging and really do some thinking and thought-provoking questions I had to ask myself. But to be frank, it's definitely a mental disorder. And I think it's called being retarded. Now, I get it. Some people have people pass away and they have crazy things happen in their life where they hold on to the thing that reminds them of the person that left them, or the person that may have passed away, or a really corrupt childhood memory. But ask yourself this. What's a hoarder doing freezing 100 cats and keeping them in a chest freezer? Where's their sentimental value? What about floor-to-ceiling bottles filled with human waste? What is that about? And if they were to have a convention, is there like a shit room? I don't know. But I'm sure that this mental disorder is covered by disability insurance, allowing these humans to stay home and keep collecting cat shit. Makes sense to me. Makes sense to me. Let's make up a disease so that we can let people be lazy. Does anyone else see the problem here? Comment, like, subscribe, or just don't. But I'd like to know your thoughts, for sure. To each their own, but obviously, Jesus Christ, get your shit together. Literally, it's getting ridiculous. From what I can tell, although very organized, hoarders are just fucking lazy garbage people who refuse to take out the garbage. I'm sure they weren't responsible for much as a child, or this would not be a problem. I got a solution. Let's get them a broom and a fucking time limit. Hoarders. God damn it. If they spent half the amount of time organizing their stack of newspapers, going out and trying to find a job or doing something productive in their life, we wouldn't have hoarders. These are the same type of people that people see them and they think it's just strange or it's odd or whatever. No, this is a serious issue. Because I really want to get down to the bottom of, with all the stuff that people hoard, if they were to have a convention, where would they have it? How would they organize it? Would it even be organized? Would they just have it in an open field? Because you know ain't nobody renting space out to these guys. They can't even pick up after themselves in their own houses. But hey guys, it's just something to think about. And to pique your interest maybe a little bit. Ask yourself, if hoarders had a convention, where would they keep everything? Throw me a comment in the comment section. It's right below the video. And you know what? Press that thumbs up button. Even press the thumbs down button. I really don't care. As long as I know you showed up, that's what matters. Now let's get on to some even more in-depth topics about something to think about. Here's something to think about for the next episode. Where does time go after it passes? Think about that, and we'll talk about it on the next episode of the Trap House podcast. I appreciate all you who've listened and joined in today. And I really want to put an emphasis on this next topic because it's a killer. Literally. It destroys families, it destroys lives, it destroys the body itself. Slowly, actually. And that's cancer. Let's talk about cancer for a little bit. Now, I know all you have heard this C word, and this is kind of probably the worst C word out there, I think. Because cunt is, it's just a adjective, I guess. So let's talk about cancer. You don't know you have it until the doctor tells you got it. I've known some people who lived amazing lives, and they've done successful things, and they were very healthy, and they worked out, and they did this and they did that, and never had a drink, they never touched alcohol, but yet one day they went to the doctors and they were told, you have cancer and it's progressing rather quickly. Now, on the other hand, I've known people who have lived their whole lives destroying their body, eating frozen foods, smoking cigarettes, doing all the things they say not to do. And these people live to be 80, 90 years old. You don't know you got cancer until they tell you got cancer. And isn't it funny that although the side effects of the actual cancer itself are detrimental to the body, and it just breaks it down, it's not until you have chemo that you really start wasting away. Now, don't get me wrong, chemo's helped tons of people, but not everybody's the same, now are we? Not everybody's body's made up of the same molecular structure. Not everybody has the same serotonin levels. Not everybody has the same testosterone levels. Not everybody has the same estrogen levels. Shit, nowadays, if you got testosterone, you also want to throw a little estrogen in there. Don't ask me why. If we were put here for a reason and you got a dick between your legs or a vagina between your legs, I'm pretty sure your fate was decided for you the day you were born. But if you'd like to change that and do whatever you'd like to do, go for it. Just know that you're going to be a topic of discussion for a lot of people for a very long time. Not demeaning, but it's your choice, and it's my choice to be like, hey man, if you don't know what bathroom to use, or if you don't know what gender you are, shit, they have anatomy books at the library. You can go check them out. Black and white, it'll tell you. But cancer, man, it really bears down on a life now, don't it? A doctor could tell you got 6 months to live, but it's going to cost you $350,000 to keep you alive. Now, if you're in the hospital and you ain't at work, who's fucking paying for that? You start a GoFundMe or some sort of charitable donation page. You may get some of the funds. You may even get most of the funds. Shit, you may even be able to pay in cash. But you're still going to die in 6 months. Don't you think spending that $350K would be much better spent doing what you enjoy? I'm going to bring this up, and whether you believe it or not, I really don't give a fuck. But my dog, not too long ago, had developed a mass on the side of her rib cage. And very big. It went from a dime size to a quarter size to a $50 size. It's just a big lump. You know what I did? Took my dog on a 10-hour hike in the woods. Whether you believe it or not, the next day, it had shrunk to half its size. We went back on another hike the following day, and guess what? That thing was gone by the end of the hike. Bear with me here, because it may hurt your ears, but it's not the cancer that kills you. It's the treatment. These are facts and my opinions, folks, but I've seen more people die and suffer going through chemo and through dialysis and through whatever else that they get hooked up to these machines and they got to spend 4 hours a day having their blood sucked in and sucked out. For what? So they can waste away in a circle of 10 other people who are going through the same thing? I bet them same 10 people would feel a lot more comfortable if they were out at a park having some lunch or maybe going bowling. They say laughter is the best medicine. I guess if we keep laughing at people in wheelchairs, eventually they'll all get better. So not everyone's the same, folks. We can't assume that what's one is good for one is good for everyone. Now, that could be said about a lot of things. And actually, right now, we're talking about this. We're talking about this disease that just annihilates people. And I'm here to say I don't believe that it's the disease that's doing it. I think it's the treatment. I think it's the ridiculous amount of cash flow that needs to come in for you to stay alive for a few more months. There's no one cure for all. If there was, cancer would have been cured 39 years ago. Chemo makes you feel dead before you die. I don't want to know what death feels like while I'm alive. And I don't think any of you do either. So I propose this. I say get your asses outside. Stop spending 99% of your days in front of the computers, eating your frozen goddamn dinners in front of the TV. Go out. Pick a mushroom. Go out. Forage for some food. Spend some time in nature. You're not feeling so well? I don't condone. I'm not going to say don't follow the doctor's orders. I would never say that. But I'll tell you right now, if you feel the need to get better, get better. I encourage all of you to keep pushing forward. Keep moving forward in your daily lives. I know this is a kind of a weird thing to be talking about, but it just hit me really hard because I'm getting sick of seeing people suffer and go through this every day. Every day. There are people going into debt, massive amounts of debt, right before they die, to try to live just a little bit longer, leaving their family members, wives, children, stuck with the bill, thus fucking up the rest of their life. Don't you think if you were a good human, you'd want to set people up for success? I say this. If you can't afford to get cancer, don't get it. Because it's fucking expensive. And there's no goddamn cure. If you want a cure for something, go outside. Get back to your fucking roots. Get back to what you enjoy doing. I heard this once, and it says, happiness is an inside job. Nobody else can make you happy. Money may make you happy for a time, but everything you do for your own happiness comes from the inside. Let's not let cancer get us. Let's not let the metaphorical cancer get a hold of our spirits and break us down. Don't let depression get you. Don't let anxiety take over. When you start to feel stressed and overwhelmed, get your ass outside. Get away from the screen. Break away from these negative influences. Stay positive, my friends. Keep yourself held to a higher standard. Don't just go along to get along. Just be you, man. Woman, who's ever listening. I encourage you all just to do you. Like I've said it a bunch of times. Yeah, this wasn't the most entertaining podcast this week or month or whatever, but it's just something I had to get off my chest, and I really hope that you all take a second and just consider your choices. Consider what you plan to do. Consider what you're doing today, not what you're doing tomorrow, next week, or next year. Focus on what you need to do today to make tomorrow better. And these are facts, in my opinion. God damn it. There's gonna be people out there who take this shit seriously.